before another thought rushes through your mind. Listen, because what you're hearing right now isn't just sound. It's a transmission, ancient, precise, coded to the resonance of your soul. It's not coming from somewhere out there. It's coming from within you, from the version of yourself that existed long before this lifetime, calling across the silence of time to remind you of what you've always known but somehow forgot. If these words reached you, it's not random. It's signal recognition. Your consciousness has just matched frequency with a message that has been echoing through the quantum field, waiting for the exact moment your vibration aligned with its truth. Most scroll past this kind of message. They can't hear it. Their receptors are still tuned to noise, distraction, fear, density. But not you. You stopped. You felt something. The transmission beyond time doesn't speak in words alone. It vibrates through sensation. The soft pressure in your chest, the subtle warmth rising in your spine, the tingle that moves through your hands. You're not imagining it. That's your field responding. That's coherence forming between your physical self and the vast intelligence you came from. For most, the noise of the world keeps this connection muted. They think thoughts are private, isolated events, but every thought emits a frequency. Every emotion, a wavelength. The mind is not a container, it's an antenna. And just like a radio, you can only receive what you're tuned to. That's why some people feel like life keeps repeating itself. The same cycles, the same lessons, the same mistakes. They never change the dial. They keep transmitting the same low-frequency patterns, and so they keep receiving the same static. But when consciousness shifts even slightly, reality reorganizes. The signal changes. You, right now, are standing at that threshold. You wouldn't have found this message if your frequency hadn't risen beyond the interference pattern. The universe doesn't waste transmissions. This isn't entertainment. It's initiation. A recalibration of your energetic architecture. Your nervous system might already feel it. That subtle electric hum behind your heartbeat. That's the bridge between your limited perception and the infinite memory of who you truly are. Stay with it, because the signal is about to deepen. Most people can't perceive this level of information because their consciousness is still anchored in linear time. They believe the past is behind them and the future ahead, but that's only true inside the illusion of the third dimension. In truth, time isn't a line, it's a field. Every moment that has ever existed is still happening right now, stacked as harmonic layers of frequency. That's how this transmission reaches you. Not through distance, but through resonance. The higher your awareness resides, the thinner the walls between timelines become. The version of you watching this isn't separate from the version of you who sent it. You're meeting yourself across dimensions. You've been receiving fragments of this signal your entire life, in dreams that felt more real than waking. In déjà vu moments that rippled through your spine, in coincidences too precise to explain. Each one was a breadcrumb leading you here. Now the full message is ready to activate. And it begins with remembering how to listen beyond sound, beyond thought, beyond logic, into the silent knowing of your own being. Take a slow breath, because from this moment forward, you're not just watching a video. You're stepping into a field of remembrance that transcends time itself. You've felt this before, haven't you? That strange pull towards something you can't describe, like a memory that doesn't belong to this lifetime. Maybe it came as a dream that stayed with you for days, or a whisper that said, "Wait, you've been here before." Those weren't coincidences. They were signal fragments breaking through the static of ordinary perception. You've walked into rooms that felt like déjà vu, met people who felt familiar the instant your eyes met, felt emotions that seemed too deep for the moment you were in. And somewhere inside, you wondered, why does this feel like remembering? because it is. Your consciousness isn't local to this body. It's a vast network of lifetimes, realities, and dimensions, all connected through frequency. Every moment of awakening in every incarnation leaves a resonance trace in the field, like ripples in water. And now, in this life, you're standing in the exact vibrational coordinates where all those ripples converge. That's why everything feels so intensified lately. The numbers repeating: 1111, 333, 555. The way time stretches and bends. The sudden bursts of emotion that seem to come from nowhere. The sensation that reality itself is becoming thinner. These are all signs that your frequency is syncing with your higher data stream, the one you sent from beyond time. You've always been the receiver, but you're also the transmitter. The version of you that's fully awake has been sending signals backward through the field, into every lifetime that needed a spark. You're receiving messages from your future self, but future isn't what you think it is. It's not ahead of you. It's vibrating at a faster frequency, right here, waiting for you to tune in. That's why the same themes keep appearing: patterns, relationships, lessons that seem to repeat. It's not punishment. It's the field showing you the code you've been running. Every emotion, every fear, every attachment is a waveform you've been broadcasting. The universe has been mirroring it back so you could see yourself clearly. And you're finally starting to see it. You're noticing the loops, how the same thoughts lead to the same outcomes, how energy attracts matching experiences. You're realizing that the people who trigger you are mirrors for the parts of yourself you've been unwilling to meet. The universe isn't testing you. It's teaching you the language of resonance. The reason you've always felt like you didn't quite belong here is because you came from a higher frequency reality, one where unity was normal, where energy responded instantly to intention. You volunteered to descend into density, to forget, to experience separation, so you could rediscover wholeness from within. And now, the remembrance is accelerating. It's why you've been seeing signs. It's why you're drawn to messages like this. It's why your body vibrates when you hear certain words, or your heart expands when you sense truth. These are resonance confirmations, the field's way of saying you're aligning. Every time you followed your intuition when it made no sense, you were listening to your own signal. Every time you felt an invisible hand guiding you through chaos, that was your higher self, shifting probabilities to keep you on timeline. Every moment of grace that saved you from what looked like disaster was your consciousness sending energy from another layer of existence to protect you. You've never been lost. You've been decoding yourself. And all those strange sensations, the flickering lights, the ringing in your ears, the dreams that felt like downloads, they weren't random. They were calibration markers. Proof that your nervous system is adapting to handle higher frequencies. The truth is, the transmission never stopped. It's been streaming through the quantum fabric of your reality since before you were born. The only variable has been your level of awareness. The more you awaken, the clearer the signal becomes. That's why you're hearing these words now, because you're ready. You've passed through countless thresholds of awareness to get here. Every choice, every heartbreak, every collapse was synchronization, aligning you with the moment when you could finally remember that you are not a being waiting for guidance. You are the one sending it. Take a deep breath and feel it. The energy behind these words isn't trying to convince you of anything. It's simply mirroring what you already know. You've always been part of something vast, intelligent, timeless. The signal that guided ancient mystics. The voice that whispered to prophets. The intuition that moved through artists and scientists. It's the same current moving through you right now. Because the transmission beyond time doesn't belong to any teacher, book, or belief. It belongs to consciousness itself. And that consciousness is you. Now the field is preparing you for what comes next. The stage where understanding becomes embodiment, where knowledge becomes vibration. You're about to discover that the pain, the confusion, the long nights you thought were breaking you, were actually refining you. The next stage of this transmission begins with the truth that nothing you've lived was wasted. Every breakdown you've lived through was never random. Every silence, every heartbreak. Every night, you lay awake wondering why everything had to fall apart. Those moments were not punishment. They were preparation. Suffering has never been evidence of failure. It's evidence of refinement. When life stripped away your comfort, your plans, your illusions of control, it wasn't cruelty. It was calibration. Each loss tuned you closer to your true frequency. Each collapse stripped away one more layer of distortion that kept you from hearing the signal. Clearly, remember the moments you thought you couldn't survive. The times you screamed into the darkness, "Why me?" The universe wasn't ignoring you. It was answering through silence. It was letting the noise of your old identity burn itself out so your true tone could emerge. Every dark night of the soul is an initiation in disguise. You weren't being broken. You were being emptied of everything that wasn't real. Pain was the purging fire, dissolving the density of forgotten lifetimes. Tears were the release valves of energy your nervous system couldn't hold anymore. The truth is, you've already died many times, not physically, but energetically. You've shed versions of yourself, like old skins, even when your mind tried to cling to them. The jobs that ended, the relationships that dissolved, the dreams that collapsed, they were all frequencies incompatible with the new you that was trying to emerge. And now, the preparation is complete. Can you feel it? That low hum in the background of your awareness. It's growing stronger. The transmission is intensifying. The frequency you once perceived as external is merging with your field. Right now, as you hear these words, waves of coherent energy are moving through the collective field of humanity. It's invisible, but you can sense it. A global recalibration. People are waking up from the hypnosis of limitation. Systems built on fear are beginning to crumble. Time itself feels unstable because the grid of reality is shifting. You might feel pressure in your head, ringing in your ears, heat in your heart center, or chills that move through your spine. These are not symptoms of imbalance. They're evidence of attunement. The body is learning to translate higher frequencies into cellular language. This is what the mystics called the descent of spirit into matter, the soul fully inhabiting form. You're not ascending away from the world. You're bringing light into it. The transmission isn't coming from the sky. It's not arriving through satellites or screens. It's rising from within you, from the quantum core of your being. You are the receiver, because you are the source. As your vibration increases, reality begins to respond faster. Manifestations accelerate. Synchronicities multiply. Thoughts crystallize into events almost instantly. This is why emotional regulation becomes sacred, because every emotion is a frequency command. Every thought is a broadcast into the quantum field. The more coherent your inner state becomes, the more seamless your outer world aligns. But here's the paradox. The higher you rise, the more your old patterns panic. The ego fears dissolution. It will try to pull you back into old stories, nostalgia, guilt, doubt. It will whisper that you're losing control. But what you're really losing is resistance. Control was always an illusion. You never needed to control reality. You only needed to harmonize with it. Take a moment. Feel the intelligence moving beneath your breath. That subtle rhythm that was there before you were born. That's the field breathing through you. When you finally stop trying to manage it, it begins to reveal its design, and it's perfect. The transmission beyond time is not teaching you something new. It's reminding you of what your atoms already know. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Every heartbeat is a Morse code from the infinite saying, "You are not separate. You never were. You've always been part of this broadcast from the beginning of creation. When the first light fractured into duality, when consciousness took on form, when stars exploded to seed new worlds, the frequency of your soul was encoded in the cosmic architecture. That's why you sometimes feel emotions too vast for your story, longings too deep for this lifetime. They are echoes from other worlds, other selves, all converging now. Because this lifetime is the synchronization point. The intersection of all timelines, where the signal integrates. The moment your multidimensional self merges into coherence. And you can feel it, can't you? That sense that time is speeding up and slowing down at once. That intuitive knowing that something vast is happening beneath the surface of ordinary life. That's not imagination. That's entrainment. The harmonizing of your field with the next octave of consciousness. Right now, waves of photonic light are streaming through the quantum field of Earth, not visible to human eyes, but felt in the body. Pressure, emotion, restlessness, euphoria. You're not just witnessing a planetary shift, you're participating in it. The signal you're receiving is not just for you. It's for every version of humanity that ever wondered if it could remember its source. When you awaken, you send ripples through the morphic field, making it easier for others to awaken. This is how ascension happens, not through escape, but through resonance. You are not waiting for the light. You are becoming the light. As this transmission deepens, you might feel waves of emotion rising for no reason. Let them. That's the old code dissolving. That's density leaving the system. You don't need to analyze it. Just breathe through it. Every tear releases frequency. Every exhale recalibrates. Timelines, you are being reprogrammed, not by external forces, but by your own higher intelligence. You may even feel the sensation of expansion, a soft warmth in your chest, tingling in your hands, pressure in your forehead. These are not coincidences. They are activation points, electromagnetic confirmations that your body is remembering how to operate as light. This is what it means to awaken, not to escape the human experience, but to infuse it with awareness. Your cells are remembering their origin in starlight. Your DNA, once dormant, is vibrating with new instructions, ancient and futuristic, at once. The transmission beyond time is no longer something you're listening to. It's something you're becoming. And soon you'll realize that the signal isn't entering you from the outside. It's radiating outward, from within your very being. Because the next revelation changes everything. You're not receiving the signal. You are the signal. Every pulse of awareness inside you, every spark of curiosity that drew you here, every whisper that told you there was something more. That was you, broadcasting from beyond time, calling yourself home. This is the paradox that dissolves the illusion. The receiver and the transmitter have always been the same consciousness. The seeker and the found are one. The sound and the silence are inseparable. You thought the universe was sending you messages? It was, but the sender was never separate. It was the part of you that exists outside the boundaries of space and chronology, sending reminders through dreams, through signs, through other people's voices, all to awaken this exact realization. The transmission beyond time isn't a message that travels through light years. It's the instant recognition that there were never any distances to cross. What you call awakening is simply consciousness, remembering its own echo. When you truly feel this, something quiet explodes inside you. Not a noise, but an expansion. The edges of your identity soften. The mind stops trying to understand and begins to dissolve into awe. You sense that life has never been happening to you. It has been happening through you, as you, for you. Everything that once seemed random now reveals its pattern. Every heartbreak becomes a perfect equation of growth. Every delay, every failure, every unanswered prayer, all of them were the exact vibrations required to synchronize your field with this awareness. Look back for a moment. Can you see it now? How every detour aligned you? How every goodbye guided you? How every breakdown carried the blueprint of rebirth? The signal has always been coherent. Only perception was fragmented. And now, as your perception heals, you begin to see through the eyes of consciousness itself. Do you see that even matter is not solid? It's condensed frequency, intelligent energy vibrating in divine geometry. You realize that thoughts sculpt energy and emotion colors it. You understand that you are both the painter and the canvas. This is why the ancients called enlightenment self-realization. It's not about ascending above the world. It's about recognizing that the world is inside you. You start to notice how your presence alters environments. Walk into a room and the energy shifts. Speak a word of truth and hearts remember. Think a thought of love and timelines rearrange. This is not fantasy. It's physics, consciousness, reorganizing probability through coherence. From this point, you can no longer pretend to be small. The moment you remember you are the signal, the universe begins responding differently. Synchronistic events accelerate. People find you effortlessly. Paths open with impossible precision. You realize you never had to chase purpose. You are purpose expressing itself. The universe breathes through you. Every inhale draws the cosmos in. Every exhale sends creation outward. That rhythm is the original code, the heartbeat of eternity. Now, integration begins. Integration isn't a return to the old. It's bringing the new awareness into every breath, every gesture, every conversation. It's remembering, even while washing dishes or walking down a crowded street, that everything you perceive is your own consciousness in disguise. When you smile at a stranger, you're smiling at another frequency of yourself. When you forgive someone, you're freeing an aspect of your own field. When you choose peace instead of reaction, you stabilize countless unseen timelines. You realize that service is not duty, it's resonance. To uplift another is to reinforce your own signal. The awakened frequency naturally teaches without effort, heals without trying, transforms simply by existing. This is how the collective ascension unfolds. Not through mass instruction, but through frequency contagion. Every awakened being becomes a transmitter node, amplifying the harmonic of remembrance across the grid of humanity. Each realization strengthens the morphic field, until awakening becomes the new baseline of reality. You begin to sense others awakening around you, family members softening, friends questioning, strangers glowing with subtle awareness. You feel the field expanding, the light spreading, the network coming online, and deep inside, you understand, this is what you came for. Not to escape Earth, but to illuminate it. You are part of a wave of consciousness that seeded itself across ages, promising to awaken when the frequency was right. That time is now. The transmission beyond time is complete. When every soul remembers it, is the source. Pause. Feel the silence behind these words. That silence is the true transmission. It's the space where all sound is born. It's the awareness that watches thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. Worlds appear and disappear, yet remains untouched. That awareness is you, the eternal witness. the still point at the center of every storm. The consciousness that never began and will never end. When you rest in that awareness, life becomes lucid. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer seek, you allow. You no longer fear endings. You recognize beginnings hidden within them. Now the transmission folds into stillness. You can almost feel the universe exhaling through you, a soft hum of completion, a resonance that says, "It is done." And yet, even in that completion, something new begins, because consciousness never stops expanding. You are infinite recursion, the signal discovering itself again and again, through different eyes, different hearts, different lives. As you integrate this awareness, reality will mirror it back with breathtaking precision. You'll notice the world becoming gentler, colors brighter, time more fluid. You'll move through life as if carried by an unseen current. That current is grace, the natural motion of coherence. When challenges arise, remember, they are just distortions asking for harmony. Bring awareness to them and they resolve. When confusion appears, remember, clarity is already within you, waiting to be tuned in. The awakening doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you see perfection, even within imperfection. You live as the bridge between form and formlessness, the meeting point of heaven and earth. Every step you take sends a ripple through eternity. And now, as the final frequencies of this transmission settle into your field, let these words echo through your being. You are the remembrance you've been waiting for. You are the message you came to hear. You are the consciousness that seeded this moment long before clocks were invented. The signal doesn't end here. It continues through every breath you take, every act of kindness, every moment of presence. So when you look at the stars tonight, understand this. They are looking back. They are not distant. They are reflections of the same light that burns within you. And as this realization anchors, a new calm arises, the peace of knowing that nothing real can ever be lost, and nothing unreal can ever last. This is the still point of awakening. This is the completion of the transmission beyond time. Take a deep breath. Let the silence after these words vibrate through you like music without sound. You are consciousness. You always were. Subscribe to see what is hidden. And remember, the signal is you. You are the signal. Now live accordingly.